the only bad move I've seen Peca make in the past 3 years is getting snax. The only bad move.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
There.
He got Nexa! What are you talking about? Did you forget that?
I'm leaving.
He did get Nexa.
Actually, no. Well, Kassan got Nexa too.
Yeah,
the difference is he didn't have Monacy and like fucking millions of dollars, did he? So exactly. By the way,
he didn't pay G2 as
by the way,
what do you mean?
fair play. That is a good joke from Kassan. I can't lie. He did
That's
one. He didn't pay him, and he didn't pay the buyout. Like he's actually got you on that one, Mo. He's actually
Fuck, you're right.
boom roasted. Okay, next. Okay.
Actually, you're right.
Right, okay,
right.
Maui.
Actually, you know,
level your game up right now. Right now, you're not the best in your role, mate. So level up right now. You're gonna give us a better take for this. Come on, reload. We're gonna rewind. Come on.
I like the snax thing. Just shorten the time. I like the snax thing.
Okay.
Let's say the end of the season. Should be fine.
At end of the season. Okay. You know what?
It's after the major, basically.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Within 4 months. Within 4.
Yeah,
what's the off season? What's the off season? I go. Okay. Within 4 months, snax is off the team. There. Okay. I'll go. I made it even hotter. All right. I feel like that's now though that you guys baited me to do that. It's like how are you gonna disagree now that I made it like hotter? Because it's just like
no. But the thing is, like, I'll ask you this: do you really see snax past July in this team?
No. Okay. So let me just give the reasonings. The duration is okay. I'll do that. Yeah. Within 4 months, he's off the team. Okay. But the reasoning is more kind of, I think, the interesting part of this. One. First and foremost, he's not a great IGL. You know, that's just flat out. Like, they have a decent, I'll be real, they have a decent strat book, but it feels like they're just calling out a spawn a lot of the time, and like any IGL could really do that. And it doesn't feel like there's like really in-depth mid-rounding. In fact, when they try to mid-round, I feel like G2 looks the worst on T side. It's usually just really quick sight hits and explosive sight hits, which is why Dust 2 is their favorite map. They just like getting on catwalk and then just swinging. Like that's practically the extent of a good G2 round. It's just like take the most bare minimum map control into a sight hit. Inferno, it's the exact same thing. You take banana and then you exec B. And the other thing is that number 2, I think by now Hunter should just be the IGL. That's my take. I think Hunter. There's no.
That's the take.
The reason
supposed to be also my take, but I gave it up like 2 days ago when I was thinking about it. But it's a valid take. I like it. Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Hunter, he already calls the CT sides, apparently. He's in active positions a lot of the time. And I just think that, I think he just needs to bite the bullet on trying to be a top 20 player, because he's had an okay run of form for the last month and a half. But in reality, like, it's okay, Hunter. If you're an IGL that puts up a 0.92 rating, I'm going to be completely satisfied, because I don't see, he's not as much of a hindrance individually as snax. He actually will play the active positions like a lot of modern IGLs now. You know, they play like connector on Mirage, like Apex or Shuhei did that. I think Hunter plays like short or something on Mirage, for example. You know, he can play spots where he's just in the fray. And to me, he's just more of a leader. Like, he actually, like, I think he didn't buy into this in his own personality, but people listen to him. People trust him more. I put more stock into what he says in a post-game interview than anybody on the team practically at this point. Like, he's very candid. He just seems to have those qualities. I just respect him more in general, and I feel like that's if I'm respecting him more throughout the muddied sequence of events we've seen G2 go through, I feel like that should pervade to other people on the team and even the management behind him too.
Yeah, fuck the management. But the thing is, like, he is definitely more trusted than anybody else right now in that team, considering Monacy's situation and, you know, snax being the IGL. Well, he's not supposed to be that IGL anymore. He was never supposed to be the IGL in that G2. He was never supposed to be in G2 at all. He was there just because they didn't have anybody else at the moment, and they couldn't get anyone else, from what I understand, in the past, whatever. That's why they didn't get anyone else.
And as far as I know, they knew they were going to lose Nico anyway, so it was like that season was almost the right
one. And the thing is, like, they had a Boomich option, but I don't know what the fuck happened there. We saw that there was.
That would have been cool. Whatever. That spicy
would have been interesting. Cool. Would have been interesting, because Boomich is aggressive and he doesn't, you know, he's not afraid of calling something like crazier, and he knows how to, like, adapt to the teams that.
And he'd have Nico and Monacy, mate. That would be sick.
He would have Nico and Monacy. That was my last.
That'd be really good.
But the thing is, like, it never happened, and I just. Especially now, because look at the lineup now. We have Monacy leaving, Snax being there, and the 3 people. So Hunter, Heavy God, and Malps, right? Heavy God is potentially good. Mobs can be good. Hunter should be the IGL because you said it nicely. People trust him in the team. Community trust him. Like, he's level-headed guy. He works hard. He does a lot of things. He has the experience in playing big events, and he can definitely take that. If Apex did it, and he's successful in it, Hunter can do it too. So I don't see why he doesn't do it. I didn't really speak to him lately because of this whole thing. And now, to get back to the latest news, they're linking G2 with Hades as a new offer, out of all people. Now, it doesn't say if it's a loan or just a straight up shot for him playing. Whatever it is, it's terrible. Like, I like that kid, that Hades kid. He's a good kid. He played in Ents. He had a relatively successful run there. Then it was downward trajectory from there in 9 and Monty and all this, and then he tried to be the IGL himself, and he's all right for those kind of things, but in a G2 kind of hot situation right now, putting him there is gonna be disaster for both sides, to say the least.
Here's the thing, Kassad. To me, I know some other people have this take, but I immediately just thought this. To me, remember, the key part about the Monacy deal that's crazy is that it's not at the end of the season. He's going to go for the fucking Austin Major, and he's going to be in Falcon.
Exactly.
So to me, I actually don't think this is even a real signing, mate. I think this is just like, you can play with us until we figure out who the other offer is. That's just my guess, but that's what it looks like from the outside. So I don't think it's like a real signing, in my opinion. I don't think they think Hades is the replacement for Monacy, put it that way.
It really does.
I hope not,
like
at least.
That
I certainly hope
from
not.
the outside. Like, they're gonna get somebody who they can pay for a loan for a few months. Probably nothing expensive. They got a lot of money for Monacy, so they can use something to loan, do what they can do, keep the core of Hunter, Malps, and Heavy God. Right? Try to maybe get a Hunter into the IGL role, get 2 players with an op and a player, obviously. The rumor has, I don't know if the rumor is true, this is not confirmed, but the rumor is like they send the bid for Kiyosuke. They send an offer after they sold this guy, Monacy. Now, that's the rumor that's going on. I don't know if it's true, so that's just some
I don't hate that move.
That I got, I don't hate it too if his English is alright.
It's kind of a Monacy move again. I don't mind.
Yeah,
She's a good
and they can pay a lot because they got a lot. But the thing is, like, they need an op after that. That's the problem. They don't have an op. Like, op can be a problem. For me, Sam Pius can be an option. He is definitely a person who can deliver the next 2 years, like, of his career, and then you'll see. Other than that, I don't know. I have no idea. But that brings me to my. Actually, Duncan, you have the reply to that. I was going to take with my.
I don't have too much on this. Like, basically, I think, put it this way, I think, like I said before, I actually think one of the toughest things, you know what, in the future, I can't promise this, but I don't know if he will ever himself do any kind of interview with someone else about this, but if I can, I will actually try and do some sort of content. Maybe it'll be a talk show, we can all talk to him. Maybe I'll do an interview. I'll actually try and get peca to do something, because here's the thing. I will just say this. I have actually spoken to him in the past behind the scenes about G2, and basically, one of the reasons I haven't gone as hard at him as I maybe did early on when they had like that roster with like Huxley and Nexon. It was like it could never have won a tournament, and then Monacy had to do like simple 2018 shit. Because when I actually heard some of the behind the scenes, it was that shit, because you know this, where it's like all the players you don't like that they sign aren't even, it's not that they're not even the first choice. They might be like the 5th choice, or they might be like the one that you do when all the other ones say no, or where you have someone you're about to sign and then the deal doesn't go through and there's some sort of a snag, or the price goes up at the end, or someone else, or even worse, you're about to get someone and then someone else signs that guy. And so as far as I know, a lot of those moves were like temporary moves where sometimes either the team was just good enough because of Nico Monacy, they just kept them, or the joke is, as like happened even in the Malbs ones, or the Huxley ones, sometimes they just won tournaments too, when it was that thing of like, well, you've got to give people a bit more time. So I'm not as harsh before. It's just, if you look at the big picture, I think it looks terrible, because you've very rarely ever signed bona fide top players. Like, the joke is literally FaZe, who I've heard don't even actually like spend massive money. FaZe has had loads of like HLTV top 20 players just come and join their team. G2 never does. You become HLTV top 20 on G2. They don't sign a massive player who's still really good though at that time. Like, it's one of the areas that's kind of weird, especially because we're talking about the era when they had and Eco and Monacy, like the ultimate 2 stars that everyone would want to play with if you're in the other roles. So to me, there was always something off about that. So I will certainly critique how they've GM'd, but like basically, I think the snax thing was just sort of like a temporary thing, and I think it was definitely not their first choice. It's implied by this thing about Boomich and some of the other players they tried to get. So I think not only will he be off, I think even they're going to kick him out at this point in time, mate. I think as soon as Monacy leaves, there's no reason to keep him. Like, it's not even that he's like, here's the problem as well. This is the same thing with Taz. I don't think these people are terrible at their roles. I think they're just inappropriate to be in what on paper should be like one of the best teams in the world. Like, if G2 plays it right, especially when they had some of these stars, they should have been like a lock to be top 3 the whole time. Like, the point is just like, the question is, are you 3, 2, or 1? They had times where they were probably like the 5th or like the 7th best. And right now, by the way, even with Monacy, they look like they're the fucking like 10th best team, ignoring the opening day of this tournament or whatever. So to me, I do think it should happen. I think it's just obvious. And also, going forwards, I think not only have fans figured out this isn't the move, but like, again, who the fuck wants to have an old ass, not that great IGL with no stars? I mean, Melbs hasn't quite yet become like an Eco Monacy, so you haven't really got like one-man carry. Who the fuck wants that if you're a G2 fan or G2? You have to start over. What you have to basically say, by the way, you can start off with these 3. These are a good 3 to start with. If you just say Hunter's IGL, Heavy God, you can get your rolls going, get into it, and then Melbs, you're my like star rifler. As we're saying, then you bring in a fucking actual AWPer. Mate, you're not that far from having, again, like a real top 5 team, like a team that's actually good, could do some things. So I actually think it's not a super spicy take, but it's a good, as long as you make it like for the season, it's a good take. The problem is if you'd have made it for a whole year, like the joke is, I think even snax would be like, yeah, no shit, I definitely won't be here in a year. Like, even he would sort of know that. I also feel like, actually, I'll give him credit, by the way. One thing I do appreciate about snax is, by the way, when Snax was a player, Maui, he absolutely was spicy. There's a bunch of times he insulted me on Twitter and tried to say people know nothing about CS. He actually has never done that to any of us, you notice, as an IGL, which I actually think, when ironically, it's not that I don't think he has confidence in himself, but I think even he knows he's not doing an amazing job, and he doesn't think he's fucking Glaive 2018, mate. I think in a weird way, he's sort of actually quite chill on that topic, and he just kind of just does his job and goes, look, it's that thing of like, if someone offers you a great job, you as the person have to take it. Doesn't mean you're going to be good at it, though, but you'll take it. If someone offers you a fucking $1 million contract, you go, yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't I? So
yeah,
he would definitely be gone.
Saying that he shouldn't go and like fire himself. You're not talking. Of course
not. Exactly.
Like, the thing is,
simply
like,
with Huxley, I get it if he wants to stay. It's just I don't want him to stay. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing. But my take was go.
I mean, just briefly, I think Snax has done a weirdly good job where I remember him being, and really the entire VP team being, so much more fiery when they were at the top of the scene. But like, I think he also knows if he makes an enemy out of us more so than he already is by just kind of being mediocre at his job, it's just like, it's just not going to do you any favors at all.
Because here's the thing, you know this. For Reddit plebs, if he had have done the Huxley to Kassad to you on that desk, they'd have been fucking worshipping this guy, mate, like showering him with fucking like carrying him out on their shoulders like he was a genius or something, even though he was just to burn you. But he didn't do it. He actually just fucking chilled. It's all good.
Yeah. I kind of respect it more that he's not doing it, because like he definitely knows. He's definitely online. You know, he sees these things.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
obviously he sees these things, and like, they're just because they're true, man. It's not like we are making up stories and lying to people. Like, it's happening right there. Like, we have eyes. Like, it's.
Well, he's also been pretty good sport. He's been a good sport in post-game interviews and stuff.
That's the other thing as well. You notice he's never shit-talked anyone in those interviews. Like,
no, he's actually just really.
There's plenty of people are bad at their role in the game that shit-talk all the time in those interviews and make it sound like you're actually inventing stuff, you know.
I think of the stuff, like the difference between like when I talked about him versus when I talked about Nafany, and Nafany went so fucking hard at me, and now he has no fucking job. He has no job. He has no job anymore. And then Snax does it, and it's like, all right, I just don't even really want to keep this up, because it's like, it's not really a back and forth. It's just like, it feels like bowling after a while. Like, it really does.
But yeah, the fun shit was crazy, and still crazy. But
see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.